What's up everybody, OJ here, welcome back to another video, and in this one we are going to be going over 5 underappreciated games that you can play on your Nintendo Switch if you haven't already done so, in between complaining for the next Nintendo Direct. Now recently there was a Nintendo Direct Mini which I talked about. Of course, as a huge Shin Megami Tensei fan, I was super excited to see the news there, but not everybody is into it. They want to hear more about first party, and I think we're going to hear about that. But in between the complaining, there are some games that are underappreciated on the Nintendo Switch, and I'm talking about first party games or first party published games that Nintendo has released that didn't sell as much as Splatoon or The Legend of Zelda or Mario Kart. So a lot of people don't know about these games or haven't tried them out. So in the meantime, you guys can be checking out these 5 games. So we're gonna first start off with the game that if you're on this channel, you probably know about, but if you're somebody new coming over, or maybe you just haven't branched out yet, we're starting off with Fire Emblem Three Houses. Now, what makes this game so good? This is a 2019 turn-based strategy RPG, and while there is some learning curve to it with all the different weapons and the different characters and the different houses and the abilities and the teaching and so much stuff with the game, once you get the hang of it, it is extremely fun. Or you can just kind of put it on the easy mode and play through there and just have stuff auto do for you. But when it comes to the battles, when it comes to the strategy, when it comes to the implementation of combat arts and techniques, Fire Emblem Three Houses is easily one of the best strategy RPGs ever made. Now this game has a huge engrossing story. It's going to take you on one playthrough, if you're on normal, probably 40 to 60 hours. If you're on hard, it could take you a lot longer than that. And if you're on the nightmare difficulty, good luck, you're gonna need it, and you probably already have the game. Plus there's DLC for you that's really good, that's 20 bucks or $24, and you pretty much get all the updates. Plus you get a nice expansion as well that adds another house to the mix, to where you can take the students and recruit them back to your house in the regular single player. Fire Emblem Three Houses pretty much has it all, man. It is a fantastic game with amazing music too. I should say something about the soundtrack. The music is great. The tunes really get you into battling, and the flow of the story is really good. 3 unique paths. You have the blue lions, you have the black eagles, and the golden deer, with all unique things that go through with each one. So you have so much replay value. So while we wait, this game can take up a lot of your time. Next up is ARMS on the Nintendo Switch. And ARMS is an interesting game. More people are starting to know about this because recently we got a ARMS character in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and that was Min Min. So if you want to actually play the game that Min Min is from, you should definitely look into ARMS. Now, what makes ARMS a solid pickup? Well, one, the online. People have complained about the online play in Super Smash Bros. And some of the other games out there. Well, ARMS is extremely smooth. It uses a really cool technique that anytime that you punch and extend with your arm, it actually absorbs the lag because you can't move and punch at the same time. So therefore, it'll replay it to the point to where everything plays out very smooth because of the natural delay of arms being punched. So it was a unique little trick they were able to put into the game to have very smooth online play. Plus, there's a lot of different modes that you can do with your friends, or also playing ranked matches as well. But what about the gameplay, right? You guys know about the features and stuff. What about the gameplay? Well, it has you equipping different arms that do different types of things, and you have to move and bend. You can use motion controls, or you can use standard controls to bend and move your arms to punch the opponent. So it's almost like a really wacky game of boxing, but there's like missiles, and there's like ice punches, and there's like fire punches, and all different types of properties. You have special abilities per each character. The characters themselves have speed attributes, but the power and other things range from what arms that you're using, whether you're using a bigger arm or a lighter arm or an arm that can kind of split off a little bit more or easier to bend. There's a lot of variety and hidden depth and tech in there, especially if you want to get into the competitive side. side, but even if you're just playing casually, it can be fun. Now, the content isn't as much as Super Smash Bros., for example, and they're not supporting the game as long as they've supported Super Smash Bros., but there's still plenty of content to go through, whether you're playing single player, playing multiplayer local with friends, or going online to have fun there with the different battle modes as well. So I enjoyed my time with ARMS and even recently played it more with my community here. So if you need a competitive game to play, then ARMS should be your next one on the Nintendo Switch if you haven't already picked it up. Next up is a game that's very true and dear to my heart, and that is Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torna the Golden Country. Now, I know what some of you guys are saying, well, wait a minute. Why would you play this game or recommend this one over Xenoblade Chronicles 2? Shouldn't I play that first? Why isn't that on this list? Well, the reason why that's not on this list is because I think a lot of people know about Xenoblade. Xenoblade is a franchise that necessarily doesn't sell as much, and obviously some of these other games you guys know about them, but Torna the Golden Country is a game that can be played at a cheaper price. It's a game that didn't get as much notoriety as the original Xenoblade Chronicles 2, so I wanted to highlight Torna the Golden Country instead because it fixes so many of the issues that happened with Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So if you play Torna the Golden Country first, which you can play either or in terms of the order, I do recommend playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2 first. But if you haven't played Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and you're maybe a little bit intimidated with the size, the length, or everything that's going on, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torna the Golden Country is a perfect place to start because they simplify things. They have a way better tutorial in there that's actually right there in the menu. You don't have to buy it and do weird stuff like that. On top of there being missions that teach you how to play the game and teach you how to fight. Plus, it's a smaller experience. It's an experience that you don't have to sink so much time into and kind of grind and do certain things. You can simply play through the game and have fun with it. There are some tough battles, don't get me wrong. I mean, you do have to level up just a bit, but it's just not as big of a game in terms of things, and you can probably enjoy it maybe a bit more than what you would enjoy Xenoblade Chronicles 2, considering how streamlined Torna the Golden Country is. Now let's talk a little bit more about the battles in this game because they are really good. Basically, it uses the same type of system that you've seen in Xenoblade Chronicles or Xenoblade Chronicles 2. You have elements based on blades, but instead of having rare core crystals and doing all sorts of the farming type of stuff with it, you essentially have your set team members, and at any point you can switch out. You have auto attacks in order to do your attacks, and then once you can charge up, you do a special ability on there. You can do abilities with the drivers, which are the humans there, or the blades, which are your companions in battle that have special properties tied to them, and you can do combos to set up big damage on your enemies. So it's fantastic. The more you play the battle system, the more fun it gets. The more you level up, the more weapon combinations you try out, the more you're just gonna like it and like it. It really is that great and so much better streamlined than Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So if you're in the mood for an amazing action RPG, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torna the Golden Country is your game. Next up is a game that's been out for a couple of years, or should I say games that have been out for a couple of years, but still something that you guys should play. I know you guys haven't played this because this game is nowhere near like millions of units of sales or anything, and that is Bayonetta 1 and Bayonetta 2 on the Nintendo Switch. These are some of the greatest action games ever created, with Bayonetta 2 pretty much being a perfect game to me. I don't really see anything wrong with that game, and I played it back on the Wii U, played it again on the Nintendo Switch. It has silky smooth controls, it has fantastic graphics, it has great Nintendo kind of things in there as well, and it has a really good storyline and great gameplay that ties in with it. It's such a great personality type of game. Bayonetta oozes with it, and as you play through and understand the combat and do some of the advanced things in there, you'll just get better and better at it. And there's so many different weapon combinations and types. It's action packed, has plenty of sass, plenty of fun, and like I said, the story is a little bit underappreciated. Some people say the story's not great, but I think it's a little bit better than people give it credit for. I had a blast playing through Bayonetta 1 and 2 on the Nintendo Switch. It does run at a silky smooth 60 frames per second, and there's like barely any input delay. They fixed a lot of the issues with Bayonetta 1 on the Xbox 360, that original release. I know it's been put out on other systems to where the frame rate's kind of inconsistent, but it's pretty good on the Switch. You can play it portable, you can play it docked. I mean, I love Bayonetta. I love the aspects of the game. I love all the different upgrades that you can get. You have like witch time, which is really cool. You have bats within. You have different type of techniques you can have, the afterburner kicks and all sorts of different stuff. The weapon variety is really cool. And probably the biggest and best thing about the combat in Bayonetta is the variety, right? You have different weapons that you can equip to your hands and also to your feet. So from there, that gives you access to different types of combos, and you can just really get creative and show your own personal style in terms of what you like to play as. And that's what I think is one of the best things about Bayonetta. So you guys, what are you waiting for? Go out there, buy Bayonetta 1 and 2. This should be a 5-10 million unit seller on the Switch, even though I knew it wouldn't be that, right? Because Bayonetta is Bayonetta, but still, it should be doing a lot better, and you guys aren't playing it, so go out there and buy the game. Last, but definitely not least, and this is in no order in terms of what you should get or not. This is just simply just games. Astral Chain, another game just like every game on this list that's underappreciated, under 5 million units in sales, and definitely deserves your attention while we wait or while you complain. In between the complaining for the directs, you should definitely check out this game, Astral Chain. What more can be said? It has great graphics, very slick anime aesthetic, ghost in a shell. It has huge variety within the gameplay. You have these different types of JoJo stands. I mean, that's what they are. I mean, they're called legions and they're machines, but they're JoJo stands, you know? They're these cool stands that fight for you, or you can fight with them. They have different types of abilities and powers. They're machine JoJo stands. There you go, machine JoJo stands. You have different types of abilities and powers, and they're all different and unique and have their own skill tree and upgrades that you can get. The action is weird at first. It's an action game that doesn't play like Devil May Cry or Bayonetta. It's a very unique action game to where you're controlling pretty much 2 characters at a time. Your Legion will attack for you or just do auto attacks, and then you control your character, but then you can also input commands for your Legion to attack as well, or do them in tandem. So you're really a pair. You're a tag team partner with your Legion in order to body people on the screen, and I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite games of all time, one of my favorite games of 2019, right alongside with Fire Emblem Three Houses. And honestly, the story is once again one of those that people say, okay, you can see it a mile coming, but it was still an enjoyable story. I still was pushing through and wanted to see what happened at the end. And the replayability, I mean, you're talking 30-40 hours on a single playthrough based on the difficulty and kind of what you want to do. For the most part, for most people, you're going to get at least 20 to 25 hours. And then on top of that, you have extra missions afterwards. You have different types of rankings that you can achieve. You have all sorts of types of achievements and secrets that you can get. Seriously, there's some people that put 100 hours into this game. It's honestly that good. The music is great too, and it's classic Platinum Games with Tura-san, the guy who did Nier Automata. He directed this game. So greatness follows greatness with this one, and Astral Chain is definitely a game that you guys should be checking out. And once again, all of these games are under 5 million units. Heck, all of these games are, I think, under 4 million units sold worldwide. All of these games are underappreciated. People didn't necessarily check them out as much. So there's some games for you guys to play while we wait in between the complaining here, guys. And if you're one of those people that played all these games, yo, good for you. You guys are awesome. So what do you guys think about this? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this one here. Check out the links in the description. We've got Twitter. Go and give us a follow on there. Stay up to date on all latest gaming news and information. Also, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you can. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you for the next one. Peace.